The day started just like any other, but things soon changed when I heard an unexpected knock on my door. It was one of the other tenants from the floor below complaining about strange noises coming from my apartment and asking me to stop moving things around so late at night. I was initially confused and told the neighbor that he was mistaken, but nevertheless he seemed convinced that the noise was coming from directly above his apartment. A few days later, however, I did start noticing something strange. It was only little things at first, objects around the house that seemed out of place, but I thought that perhaps I was just being forgetful and distracted. Things at work had been stressful lately, so I had quite a lot of things on my mind. But then something happened that I simply couldn't ignore. I don't know how, but for some reason the furniture in my apartment had been completely rearranged while I was sleeping. Nothing was missing, and there were no signs of a break-in. I wasn't a very deep sleeper, so I couldn't explain how all this happened without being woken up by the noise. Then I heard another knock on the door. It was the neighbor from downstairs again. This time he seemed a lot more agitated, and I could tell his patience was running out. I didn't know what to say, but he threatened to submit an official complaint to the building owner if I didn't stop. Things were getting worse, and I needed to get to the bottom of it. The last thing I needed was to get evicted, so I decided to make the most of the weekend to investigate further. I quietly moved the furniture back into place, made sure my front door was locked, and set up my phone to record any audio while I was sleeping, in the hopes that it might provide some clues to what was going on. I woke up and saw that once again all the furniture had been rearranged in exactly the same way as before. On the one side, I was fearful of what was going on, but I was also hopeful that my phone picked up something that might reveal the truth. I could only sit in silence and disbelief as I played back the audio. I still couldn't understand how I was not awoken by these noises. Even the neighbor from downstairs could hear it. The thought of having a stranger in my apartment, moving things around while I slept, was extremely unsettling. If I was going to go to the police, I knew I needed some solid proof, so I decided to set up a camera and leave it recording. This would undoubtedly reveal the truth, no matter how terrifying. Strangely enough, I found myself almost getting used to the idea of finding my furniture in a different place every morning, but now I had what I needed. I hooked up my camera to my notebook and began scanning over the footage. What I witnessed next was something truly terrifying. After seeing the footage, I felt so lost and completely alone. With nowhere else to stay and no one to turn to, I decided to spend another night in the apartment, this time without moving the furniture back in its place. I thought maybe if I left things the way they were, this nightmare would just go away and I would be left alone. But it was that night that changed everything. Hey folks, thanks for watching. This is just a friendly reminder to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. It helps a lot, and consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more scary animated stories. It is very hard, but I do try to publish new content every few weeks, so your support really helps a lot. Please share your theories in the comment section about what you think happens next in chapter 2 of this series. I'll be releasing the next episode very soon.